Good evening, Piyush. How are you? Why are you not attending the classes in person? Everything is fine? Actually, you're not in there. No problem. ठीक है. Okay. So first we have to start with so what we were doing in the previous classes. First, let's discuss that with a quick recap. So we have done the quantitative revolution, and I'm hoping that all of you who have missed the classes, you have gone through the syllabus. I mean, the past classes wherein I have discussed the different things. For example, so we were discussing about the special analysis. अभी special analysis किसका feature है? ये special analysis features है quantitative revolution का. Quantitative revolution का feature है special analysis. ठीक है. अभी special analysis जब quantitative का feature है, that means what? कि आपको ये देखना है इसका मतलब क्या है. Special analysis का मतलब क्या है? जब भी हम किसी भी एरिया को स्टडी करते हैं, वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू स्टडी इन अ डिस्क्रिप्टिव मैनर. वी हैव टू स्टडी इट इन अ with the help of the mathematical models. We have to study with the statistics. Okay, there are certain things that we'll be using, such as, welcome Ishan, mathematical models, statistical tools, mathematical models, statistical tools, and what else? How else we can study this? We can study this through different various methods as well. For example, we can apply some hypothesis also in this. Hypothesis testing. तो ये सारे टूल्स कैसे, ये क्वांटिटेटिव टूल्स हैं. जितने भी टूल्स का मैंने नाम लिया अभी, ये सारे क्या हैं? क्वांटिटेटिव टूल्स. मतलब हम किसी भी एरिया को आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे, वी विल पुट इन सम सॉर्ट ऑफ व्हाट, साइंटिफिक मॉडल. इन सभी को क्या बोला जाएगा? साइंटिफिक मॉडल. क्योंकि हाउ वी आर स्टडिंग द एरिया, we are studying it through the evidences. What sort of evidences? Mathematical models, statistical tools, hypothesis testing. ये आपका स्पेशल एनालिसिस हो गया. अब ये स्पेशल एनालिसिस को सबसे ज्यादा किसने फेवर किया था? फ्रेड के किफर. He was the one who said that the region should be studied in a universal law. It should be studied as a universal law. Universal law का मतलब क्या है? कि ये चीज हर जगह अप्लाइड होगी. जैसे आई एम नॉट सेइंग द प्लेसेस का डायमेंशन हर जगह अप्लाई होगा. व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू टेल यू इज, अगर फॉर एग्जांपल आई विल टेल दैट हाउ द एरिया लुक्स लाइक, व्हाट इज द डायमेंशन ऑफ एरिया, तो somebody would tell in a different way. अगर डिस्क्रिप्टिव वे में जाएंगे तो किसी को कुछ समझ नहीं आएगा. फॉर सम पीपल इट विल बी लाइक बिग based on their previous experiences. For some people it will be like quite small on the basis of their previous experiences. So nobody will get to know exact क्या dimension है, क्या area है. ठीक है. तो ये सब चीज के लिए, so that we should not have a different kind of the evidences, different kind of the data points available with us for the same place. So we started figuring out what a universal law. Universal law मतलब objective. We try to bring it from the descriptive to analytical, or you can say we change it from the subjective to objective. ठीक है, to objective. और ये किसका पार्ट है? ये आपके क्वांटिटेटिव रेवोल्यूशन का पार्ट था, स्पेशल एनालिसिस. ठीक है. But see, ma'am, can't we? Can you just? I have to see the comments first. Just hold on. Ma'am, can't we say special analysis got the boost after the advent of space exploration and statistics? Satellites. No, yeah, we can say that because GIS is one of the tools that we are using. If I talk about GIS mapping, that is also there. We are doing the mapping through that thing only. That is what I have given you in the notes as well. But it did not started exactly from there, because this happened in 1940s, right? Where quantitative revolution कब आया? When there was the introduction of the computers in the US. US में सबसे पहले computers introduced हुए थे. People got really excited about the computers. They wanted to change everything into a statistical model. into a mathematical model. So they were very excited about all of these things. The moment they got excited, they also changed the subjects from the descriptive to analytical. तो यही उनका methodology था. उन्होंने कहा क्यों इस subject को इस तरह से लेना है, we have to change it completely. But ये model ज़्यादा time के लिए काम नहीं करा. Why? Because people thought that the purpose of the geography is to also add the human touch. अब human touch में क्या क्या हो सकते हैं? Emotions हो सकते हैं. Emotions of various kind. They could be anger, they could be wisdom, there could be these different types of emotions could be there. So when you add up the emotions to the descriptive in the descriptive details, then only you'll be able to understand the whole place. तो ये बात पॉजिटिविज्म और लॉजिकल पॉजिटिविज्म में भी कही गई है. ठीक है, आपको ये पॉजिटिविज्म और लॉजिकल पॉजिटिविज्म से भी क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. जैसे एक बार सुन लीजिए. देखिए पॉजिटिविज्म क्या है, सेम कॉन्सेप्ट है. We will talk in the same manner only, but there is a slight difference between both. Positivism says that I am going to rely on something only on the basis of observation and evidence. But logical positivism says that I am going to rely on only verifiable facts. It means that positivism क्या बोल रहा है? Positivism is a part of a quantitative revolution only. जहाँ पे ये बोल रहा है that we are going to rely, we are going to explain something on the basis of the observable facts of, and also through the evidences we are going to support our data. But the logical positivism says that we are going to rely on the verifiable facts, something which has been verified. ऐसा तो नहीं कि the evidence which I am putting in front of you has to be right always. I might be wrong. I might be wrong in using the statistical model. I might be wrong in using the mathematical model, or maybe I'm unaware of how to use it. So even if I'm putting some value, so how can you admit, how can you accept that value? No, you have to accept it only when logical positivism says it has to be verified. Okay? Next it says this depends upon what? Statistical and mathematical model. But logical positivism dependent on hypothesis testing. It dependent on hypothesis testing. It has to be verified. It has to be tested. जब आपने hypothesis ही बना दिया, जब आपने testing करी चीजों की, then only you will be able to get that. ठीक है? तो these are the parts of it. ये सब क्या है? उसके parts है. जहाँ पे हम बोल रहे हैं that it should be observation and evidence होना चाहिए, verifiable facts होना चाहिए. ये कहते हैं statistical and mathematical model होना चाहिए. ये कहते हैं कि hypothesis testing होनी चाहिए. और दोनों अपनी अपनी जगह सही है. क्यों? Because this is just changing. दोनों ने किसमें change किया ना? Analytical model में change किया. But सबसे पहली बात, this cannot be true. Why? Because whatever you are putting does not necessarily is right. There could be some errors, there could be some deviation from the actual data. Okay? Next, what? It got popularized positivism because 1940s were the time when we are about to get independent, 1947. So in India also this same thing was happening. In India also this somewhere this idea was there that quantitative revolution is going on outside. So it did got some relevance in India in 1940s only. और यहाँ पे कब मिला? 1940 for the post independence मिला. और यहाँ पे during the independence when we were getting, they got some highlights. They got some focus. They got some emphasis in the India as well, right? Just write down first this. Okay, welcome. कैसे लेट हो गया आप? मेट्रो? अच्छा. अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा। ओके डोंट वरी। ओके यहाँ पे आप ऑब्जर्व, ओके आप चेंज द स्लाइड, माय मिस्टेक। आप यहाँ पे एविडेंस एंड डेटा कलेक्शन भी लिख सकते हैं। एविडेंस का मतलब ब्रैकेट में लिख सकते हैं डेटा कलेक्शन। पहले 2 पॉइंट्स डिफरेंसेस लिख के देन आई एम गोइंग टू राइट मोर। Now what about this one? As I told you, this was more of what? Field observation. So write down. It was more of empirical. This was more of analytical. देखिए okay, they used to use what? They used to use surveys and field observation. They used to use surveys and field observation. And what they used to use? ये क्या यूज कर सकते थे सर्वे और फील्ड ऑब्जर्वेशन के अलावा? दे यूज टू यूज द हाइपोथेसिस टेस्टिंग, राइट? तो लिखिए यूज मॉडल्स, स्टैटिस्टिक्स एंड हाइपोथेसिस टेस्टिंग। यूज मैथमेटिकल मॉडल्स एंड हाइपोथेसिस टेस्टिंग। This used to study geographical facts. This used to studies geographical fact and this is to predict geographical facts. Or you can say they used to predict geographical relationships. इसमें लास्ट पॉइंट लिखेंगे positivism used data facts. Positivism used data facts, observations, comma, spatial patterns, and general laws. Spatial patterns plus general laws. Okay. What about next? Positivism. They used to develop, write down, they develop scientifically verifiable geographical theories. They used to develop scientifically verifiable geographical facts. Again, ये याद रखना है आपको, verifiable always. Always remember verifiable. कि verify करके ही आपको क्या पता चलेगा, you'll be able to get that. ठीक है? Okay. Now, what would you like write in the criticism of it? What are the criticism of it? Can we have a discussion on the criticism? Just hold on. Hello? Hello? Yes, Raj भाई बताइए. हाँ क्लास में बताइए. बताइए बताइए. अच्छा. Yes. तो what are we discussing in this? अब यहाँ पे क्या है, फिर से देख लेते हैं कहाँ से स्टार्ट हो रहा है, क्वांटिटेटिव रेवोल्यूशन। क्वांटिटेटिव रेवोल्यूशन कब से स्टार्ट हुआ, 1940 से स्टार्ट हुआ। ज्यादा इट गॉट its movement in America. Why? Because computers were introduced, people were excited about computers, etc. Statistical models, they thought that इसको किस सब हम ज्योग्राफी को भी किस तरह से एक्सप्लेन करेंगे, क्वांटिटेटिव वे में एक्सप्लेन करेंगे, तभी इसको बोला गया क्वांटिटेटिव रेवोल्यूशन। ठीक है, क्वांटिटेटिव में क्या इंक्लूड होता है, मैथमेटिकल मॉडल, स्टैटिस्टिक्स, डेटा कलेक्शन, सर्वेज, फील्ड ऑब्जर्वेशन, एम्पिरिकल ऑब्जर्वेशन, सब कुछ इसके अंदर कवर होता है। नाउ व्हाई दिस मॉडल वाज नॉट सक्सेसफुल, बिकॉज पीपल वर looking for the changing of the geography from the descriptive subject to totally a mathematical subject, which was not possible, because in geography you have to explain the things the way they are, but mathematics cannot provide such kind of detailed analysis through the numbers, right? So, and it is also said that human emotions are something which cannot be um, detailed out in the pie chart or cannot be detailed out on the maps. So you have to understand this thing. Second point is, because quantitative revolution पहले तो बहुत, it was something which were done by the non-geographers, जिसमें जिन्होंने देखा ही नहीं है that how the mountains look like. If you talk about the previous German geographer that we have talked about, everyone has explored at least one or two places, at least I'm talking. But these people have not even read geography for once, and they started converting all the data, all the whatever descriptive data they were having into a mathematical model. ठीक है, अगर आप आज भी ये एनालिसिस करेंगे, आप खुद पता चल जाएगा, एक पैरा डाल के देखना ChatGPT पे या क्लाउड पे या जेमिनी पे, जिस पे भी आपका मन करे, एक डिस्क्रिप्टिव लेना, डिस्क्रिप्टिव पैरा लेना, एनवायरमेंट, ज्योग्राफी, जिसका भी लेना है, एंड यू ट्राई टू कन्वर्ट, tell the ChatGPT to convert it into a quantitative analysis or convert it into numbers. ठीक है, then you will able to understand, और उसको समझ के देखना, try to understand this, क्या आपको पहले ज्यादा समझ में आ रहा था या आपको ऐसे ज्यादा समझ में आ रहा है. See, these numbers can taken as one of the complementary thing, right? These can complement the description, but this cannot be the only way of describing the geography. अगर आप मुझे बोलें that political dynamics अगर हमें समझना है तो mathematical models में समझेंगे, geopolitics etc. आपको लगता है is it possible? Never. It is not at all possible. It's something that is it has to be interpreted, और interpretation हमेशा description में अच्छा लगता है, not in numbers. ठीक है, और ये खुद भी आप करके देख सकते हैं ChatGPT पे that how statistical model से आपको कैसे explain करेंगे, but ये एक टूल हो सकता है आपकी descriptive data में add करने के लिए, but not the whole idea of telling that geography should look like this. ठीक है, okay. इसके बाद क्या आया? I have explained the quantitative revolution. Why again? Because there were some people, some students who were not there. अब हम बात करेंगे critical revolution. Although from the last two classes I am doing the quantitative revolution only. Somebody who has not gone through the lecture, please do watch them. Okay. Now we will talk about the critical revolution. Critical revolution को आना ही था. इसके बाद what do you understand by this? और critical revolution में बहुत कुछ है. For example, इसमें ह्यूमनिस्टिक ज्योग्राफी है, इसमें वेलफेयर ज्योग्राफी है, इसमें we'll talk about behavioral geography, और इसमें छोटे छोटे क्वेश्चंस भी आते हैं. ठीक है, so critical revolution was after the quantitative revolution. When people got quite annoyed with the quantitative revolution, they said it's now enough, we need to change it to critical revolution. Critical revolution में क्या था? They started talking about that human emotions cannot be explained in numbers. We are not satisfied this model, we are not satisfied this revolution. Now we need to change. अगर आप timeline देखेंगे quantitative revolution का, it is between 1940s to 1960s and so on. ठीक है, but ये इनका timeline देखें critical revolution का, is from the 1970s, just after the decline of the quantitative revolution. क्या start हुआ? Critical revolution. Getting the point? Timeline समझ में आया सबको? Right? Quantitative revolution का timeline क्या था? 1940s, 1960s, और क्रिटिकल रेवोल्यूशन का टाइमलाइन है 1970s. ठीक है, अब स्टार्ट करेंगे, जब कॉन्टेक्स्ट समझ में आ गया, नाउ स्टार्ट राइटिंग. देखिए, क्रिटिकल रेवोल्यूशन, ज्योग्राफी इन 1970s, ज्योग्राफी इन 1970s and afterwards, geography in 1970s and afterwards underwent another revolution, underwent another revolution, and this time, it was anti-positivism, anti-positivism and critical. Why I use the word anti-positivism? आप बोलोगे मैम क्वांटिटेटिव रेवोल्यूशन में एंटी-पॉजिटिविज्म क्या? देखिए, पॉजिटिविज्म एंड लॉजिकल पॉजिटिविज्म भी क्वांटिटेटिव रेवोल्यूशन का ही पार्ट है, ठीक है. क्वांटिटेटिव रेवोल्यूशन जब आया, जब वहां उसमें भी चीजें हो रही थी, तो पीपल चेंज इट अ बिट कि ठीक है, वी आर ट्राई टू बेटर इट बिकॉज पीपल आर गिविंग द क्रिटिसिज्म. तो पॉजिटिविज्म में क्या था? ऑब्जर्वेबल फैक्ट्स. उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, वी विल चेंज इट इन अ बेटर फॉर्म, will come with a logical positivism. So ultimately they are the part of the quantitative revolution only. ठीक है. Anti-positivism लिखिए, anti-positivism and critical. Now are you understanding what do you mean by anti-positivism? Write down. From early 1970s, the work by cultural and historical geographers. From early 1970s, the work by cultural and historical geographers has been presented as an attack it has been presented as an attack on the positivism. It has been presented as an attack of positivism of special science. Of positivism of special science. Full stop. To replace the latter, a variety of humanistic approaches. To replace the latter, the variety of humanistic approaches has been proposed, presenting a focus on decision maker, presenting a focus on decision maker. And his perceived world. Okay? To replace the later, variety of humanistic approaches has been proposed, presenting the focus on decision maker and is perceived. What do you mean by humanistic approach has been proposed, presenting a focus on decision maker? Who is a decision maker here? Humans. Presenting the focus on, पूरा focus किस पे आ गया? Decision maker and perceived world. What is his perceived world? Who are the decision makers? Humans are the decision maker. और human decision किस basis पे लेंगे? अपने emotions के basis पे लेंगे. If I see an animal is hungry, or maybe an animal is maybe a dog is hungry, or maybe in his situation, any situation he is in, so I would probably do what? I would take a step. Okay? Somebody who is a dog lover, they will go a step ahead. वो क्या करेंगे? They will themselves take them to the hospital. ठीक है? Somebody who is not at all into pets or maybe scared of the dogs, they will not do anything about it. अब आप मुझे खुद बताइए, इस सिचुएशन को मैथमेटिकल मॉडल से समझाया जा सकता है? No. Why? Because this activity is coming out of the emotion. Because how people perceive the things, it's a relationship between men and environment, and how we are taking the other facts, other things around us. So decision makers are humans, and how we perceive the world. Okay? So critical revolution says that it is all on the basis of the relationship of a human, the decision maker, and their perceived world. अब वो किस तरह से उसको perceive करते हैं, उनके ऊपर depend करता है. ठीक है? Propose presenting or focus on decision maker and the perceiver world and denying the existence of, बहुत important line है ये, and denying the existence of objective world. ये perfectly fit होता है इंडिया के अंदर भी. क्यों? Because India में जब ये क्वांटिटेटिव रेवोल्यूशन की बात हो रही थी, इट वाज नॉट एप्ट फॉर इंडिया. व्हाई? बिकॉज इंडिया इज सच अ डाइवर्स country, it's having such a diversity. Do you think the objective world can fit into the Indian model? Never. इंडिया में कभी भी मॉडल वो काम नहीं कर सकता. Why? Because there is such a huge diversity among the people of India. So this model cannot work. ऑब्जेक्टिव का मतलब होता है आपने एक चीज के लिए सबके लिए एक ही डेफिनेशन है. बट इंडिया थिंग्स आर नॉट लाइक दैट. दे आर सो कॉम्प्लेक्स एंड कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. ठीक है. So write down, and denying the existence of objective world which can be studied by positivist methods. अब इनका आइडिया क्या है, इनको किसकी तरफ जाना है? दे हैव टू मूव द ज्योग्राफी मोर टुवर्ड्स ह्यूमनिस्टिक अप्रोच रादर देन ऑब्जेक्टिव अप्रोच. ठीक है. सो लिखिए नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. The intent is to reorient. I hope you understand the meaning of reorient, right? The intent is to reorient human geography towards a more humanistic stance. The idea is to move Indian geography, the idea is to move or reorient human geography, or simply write down geography, to reorient geography. किस तरह से reorient करना है हमें? Towards a humanistic stance, towards a more humanistic stance, and to re-emphasize the importance of studying unique events, rather than studying the general laws. जनरल लॉस में फिट ही नहीं हो सकता. अब कैसे फिट करेंगे? अभी मैंने तीन लोगों का बात किया, तीन कैटेगरी के लोगों का बात करा. One is a dog lover, one is a moderate person who is thinking rationally as that what we should do for the humanity, and fourth person is unbothered. When we are having the three group of the people right now, then I'm not able to explain the situation. I'm not able to explain. इसको भी यूनिवर्सल एक ही सिचुएशन है ये बस लाइफ की, उसको भी मैं ऑब्जेक्टिव वे में नहीं. I have to give the three stands for it. So how can I explain all the aspects of the human life into a general law? Yes, Piyush, what are you saying? Let me go to the comments. But ma'am, this humanistic approach could also lead to difficulty in consensus making, even in basic topics. See, देखिए, point is, I'm saying that I'm not totally against the I'm not totally against the analytical model where statistics are required. कहीं के स्टैटिस्टिक्स बहुत हेल्प भी करते हैं. वेरिन अगर आपको चेक करना है कि पॉपुलेशन सेटलमेंट किस तरह से हो रहा है, पॉपुलेशन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन किस तरह से हो रहा है, नेक्स्ट डेकेड में कितना अर्बन ग्रोथ होगा, इन ऑल दिस एरियाज इट इज हेल्पफुल, बट दैट शुड बी कॉम्प्लीमेंटरी टू द डिस्क्रिप्शन दैट यू आर हैविंग. We cannot totally for example, if I have to write the key features of the migration, I can put it into 4 points, statistics में बना के, statistical model में बना के, I can explain that. But उस पे भी layers होते हैं. There are a lot of layers to it. Migration is happening because of this. Because if I'm talking about the Rohingya migration, there could be a history attached to it, and from the history I have to explain everything. So then that could not be explained through the mathematical models. Emotions cannot be explained through the mathematical models. So that is what critical revolution is talking about, that stop just focusing on the, yes, first stop focusing on the general laws and reorient yourself to humanistic stance. ठीक है, underline करेंगे humanistic stance को, and re-emphasize the importance of studying humanistic stance, and re-emphasize the importance of studying unique events rather than जनरल लॉ। यूनिक इवेंट समझ रहे हैं आप, हर किसी का एक्सपीरियंस, ह्यूमन एक्सपीरियंस हर किसी का डिफरेंट होगा। इफ यू गो टू अ कैफे, आपका एक्सपीरियंस डिफरेंट होगा, मेरा डिफरेंस होगा, थर्ड पर्सन का डिफरेंट होगा, फोर्थ पर्सन का डिफरेंट होगा, ठीक है। और फिफ्थ पर्सन हो सकता है इंटरेस्टेड ही ना हो इस पे बात करने के लिए, ठीक है। ऑलराइट, सो राइट डाउन द फर्स्ट ज्योग्राफी दैट वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट इज, फर्स्ट लिखिए ह्यूमनिस्टिक ज्योग्राफी। अलग से क्वेश्चन आता है इस पे, ह्यूमनिस्टिक ज्योग्राफी, राइट डाउन ह्यूमनिस्टिक ज्योग्राफी। राइट डाउन ह्यूमनिस्टिक ज्योग्राफी, देखिए it is an approach in human geography. Please do not get confused between humanistic and human geography. बहुत बहुत लोग ये मिस्टेक करते हैं कि ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी को ह्यूमनिस्टिक समझ लेते हैं। ह्यूमनिस्टिक इज जस्ट द पार्ट, सब फील्ड ऑफ ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी, राइट डाउन। इट इज एन अप्रोच इन ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी डिस्टिंग्विश्ड बाय, इट्स अ approach in human geography distinguished by central and active role, central and active role given to, distinguished by central and active role given to human awareness, central and active role given to human awareness, human agency, comma लिखेंगे human agency, comma human consciousness, active role किसको दिया, human agency, human awareness और बताइए human consciousness, human activities and human creativity. The central role given to human awareness, human agency, human consciousness, human creativity and human activity. Next point, it is an attempt at understanding, it is an attempt at understanding meaning, comma, value. It is an attempt in understanding meaning, comma, value, comma, human significance. It is an attempt at understanding, it is an attempt meaning, comma, it is an attempt at understanding, right down, meaning, comma, value, comma, value and human significance of life events. Of life events. Okay. Slide this. Okay, right on next. It was influenced by, write down, it was influenced by phenomenology. It was influenced by phenomenology, phenomenology, the phenomena. So we're calling this as phenomenology. Existentialism, 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 existent लिखेंगे पहले and then visual. Existentialism, humanistic philosophy. Last one is humanistic philosophy. So what is the first definition that we have written? that it is a key method of looking at it's an approach of a human geography which is focusing on what? Which is focusing on human awareness, human creativity, human activity, human agency, and human consciousness. And then it is based on the what three categories? Phenomenology, existentialism, and humanistic philosophy. Okay? It was influenced by all three. Next, main ideas of humanistic geography. Now write down main ideas of humanistic geography. Main ideas of humanistic geography. What are the main ideas? Write down. The very first idea of humanistic geography is, write down, the first one, human experience matters. Human experience matters. Now, how much this human experience matters? कितना matter करता है? बहुत. क्यों? Because human experience is giving the first stance, it's giving the first impression of any event. Because if I'm saying that I went somewhere, it's one of the wonderful place. अब आप ये देखिए इतने लोग जा रहे हो उस चीज के बारे में बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं. आपको लगता है कि कोई भी वहां जाएगा? Somebody has gone to Norway, Greenland, or maybe any other place, Finland especially, and they've seen the northern lights over there. And whosoever come from there, nobody's talking about this experience. आपको लगता है वहां कोई जाएगा? क्यों? Because there is no experience attached to it. Okay, it's just as normal as anything else. Again, when people come from there, they share their experiences, they share their different experiences. Why? For some people it could be just a light, so for some people it could be the way of expressing the same thing is different. So when they're expressing in different way, then there will be some curiosity inside you which will tell you, I also want to see the northern lights. What is so different about that? I have heard so much. अब ये छोड़िए, अब छोटे से कैफे जब यहाँ पे खुलता है, so there's so much of buzz about that. And then there's curiosity that develops in you, then I want to also experience that. ठीक है? So ये human experience ही है जो क्या कर रहा है? This is incurring a sense of curiosity in all of us. Otherwise, we'll be acting like robots. Otherwise, we will act like a robot. So humanistic approach is saying us what? That there is something, there is a human experience which is giving the first-hand impression. ठीक है? So write down human experience matters और इसके अंदर लिखेंगे humanistic geography study how people experience. Humanistic geography studies how people experience and interpret places. Full stop. The focus shifts from where this place is. The focus shifts from where this place is from how this place is. The focus shifts from where this place is from where this place is to how this place is. Where तो हम ढूंढ लेंगे, where is not an issue. लेकिन हम जाएंगे तो कैसा लगेगा? That is what we are more interested in. ठीक है? Next point है sense of place. Sense of place. Places are not merely location on maps. Places are not merely, places सिर्फ क्या नहीं है? Location नहीं है maps के अंदर. Places are not merely location on maps. Next point. People develop an emotional attachment. People develop an emotional attachment to places. People develop emotional attachment to places through memory, through experience, through culture. They develop an emotional attachment to the place through memory, through experience, through culture, and identity. Next point लिखेंगे subjective understanding. Next point लिखेंगे subjective understanding. Subjective क्यों? Because everyone would have a different understanding of the same place, right? तो लिखिए subjective understanding. It values personal experience. It values personal experience, comma, individual experience and human consciousness. It values personal experience, comma, individual experience and human consciousness. Next point. They accept it as a place rather than a space. Place rather than a space. Space क्या है आपके लिए? यहाँ पे जहाँ पे मैं खड़ी हूँ, it's just like a space to me. What? For example, how अगर somebody from the humanistic geography, I am a proponent from a humanistic geography, I have to explain this place. And somebody who is coming from the positivism, that means quantitative revolution, how they will explain this space. देखिए वो कैसे explain करेंगे? Okay, the space which I am standing in is having a height, breadth, and length of this much, right? We are in the northeast direction of an area. So this is what a quantitative revolution person will proponent will tell. A person who is teaching here will experience it in a different way. Humanistic geography kaise? Herein I take the classes. I like to take the classes of the students. They interact with me. I really enjoy the session. Students also enjoy it in a similar manner. So this is what an experience. So अब दोनों में difference देख रहे हैं. तो ये मेरे लिए क्या बन गया? This is a space for me, not a space. Space में क्या है? I'm just explaining the whole thing, and I'm just telling the dimensions से ये है, ये इसका location, and that's it. So for me, I am sharing how the place matters, how much it matters to me, not where it is. Okay? So special science emphasize abstract space. Special science, SPATIAL. Special science emphasized abstract space. Abstract space. Humanistic geography emphasized lived space. Humanistic geography emphasized lived space. Okay? स्पेस का मतलब क्या है? सिर्फ एक ज्योमेट्रिक लोकेशन. लिख लीजिए, स्पेस मीन्स ज्योमेट्रिक लोकेशन एंड प्लेस मीन्स लोकेशन फिल्ड विद द मीनिंग. एंड स्पेस मीन्स लोकेशन फिल्ड विद द मीनिंग. Filled with meaning. Location filled with meaning. Okay. Next, देखिए qualitative methods. What are the qualitative methods? क्या क्या क्वालिटेटिव मेथड्स यूज कर रहे हैं आप इसमें? आप मुझसे एक्सपीरियंस पूछ रहे हैं, तो क्या कर रहे हैं आप? मेरा इंटरव्यू ले रहे हैं, राइट? तो राइट डाउन द फर्स्ट क्वालिटेटिव मेथड्स, क्योंकि क्वांटिटेटिव तो हम यूज नहीं कर रहे. तो क्वालिटेटिव मेथड्स इज इंटरव्यूज. राइट डाउन इंटरव्यूज, पर्सनल नरेशंस, ऑब्जर्वेशन, लाइफ हिस्ट्रीज. ऑब्जर्वेशंस, लाइफ हिस्ट्री. ओके, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. राइट ऑन द की स्कॉलर्स. आपने हमेशा ध्यान रखना है, जितना भी आप जो भी आप स्कूल ऑफ थॉट करेंगे, सबका स्कॉलर्स यू हैव टू राइट एटलीस्ट 3. ठीक है? राइट डाउन की स्कॉलर्स. याई फ्यू टुआंग. ही इज अ स्कॉलर ऑफ ह्यूमनिस्टिक अप्रोच. ठीक है? नेक्स्ट इज एडवर्ड रेल्फ. एडवर्ड रेल्फ, RELPH. Then Annie Batumer. Annie Batumer. ठीक है? याई फू टुआन. ठीक है? दिस इज YI फू टुआन. पढ़िए इसको, कोई डाउट तो पूछिए। ठीक है, आगे चलिए। ठीक है, shall we talk about the behavioral approach now? What is this behavioral approach? Madam, behavioral approach लिखिए, या behavioral geography लिखिए, not approach. Madam, geography only. ठीक है, geography लिखेंगे, behavioral geography. Okay, so there must be some changes in a humanistic approach that the behavior has to change. That's why this has come. Madam, लिखिए, in contrast to humanistic geography, comma, behavioral geography, in contrast to humanistic geography, comma, behavioral geography may be seen as developing criticism, may be seen as developing criticism within the quantitative movement, comma, starting from the disillusionment, matlab they are not aligning with that, starting from the disillusionment with theories based on the concept of economic man. Write down. Behavioral geography treats men as a responder to a stimuli. Behavioral geography treats man as a responder to stimuli. Full stop. It seeks to identify how different individuals responds to different individuals respond D आएगा not S. Different individuals respond to particular stimuli. It seeks to identify how different individuals responds to particular stimuli and how the same individual responds to same stimulus and how same individual responds to and how same individual responds to same stimuli in different situations. In different situations. ठीक है, अब देखिए, there could be that at the first hand the person says the place was very nice, it was amazing. For example, we're talking about Indonesia. The place is very nice. I went there. There are a lot of coral reefs. I went and explored all of them. But second time, a earthquake came there. Same place, same person, but different situation. अब वो क्या बोलेगा? क्या वो सेम एक्सपीरियंस करेगा? नहीं, डिफरेंट एक्सपीरियंस करेगा. तो स्टिमुलाई डिफरेंट हो गए. जैसे ही स्टिमुलाई डिफरेंट हुआ, चाहे इस पर्सन भी सेम है, चाहे प्लेस भी सेम है, ऑब्वियसली दे विल रिएक्ट इन अ डिफरेंट वे. So this also matters that whenever the same person is going to the same place, does not always necessary that he will have the same experience. Why? Because now he is encountering different situation than what he was encountering before. जब उनका situation ही stimuli ही इतना change हो गया, तो definitely how would he experience the same thing over there? ठीक है? So behavioral approach treats men as a responder. We are responding to a stimuli. Stimuli हमारे आसपास है, और stimuli change होते हैं. अब different people respond in a different way to the stimuli, and they also gauge whether the same person with the same stimuli in a different situation is behaving in the same manner or not. ठीक है? That also matters. ठीक है? To isolate, write down. Okay, write down. Full stop. यहाँ पे लिखिए different situations. All right. Write down. The end product is the input. The end product is the input to processes. The end product is the input to processes. The end product is the input to processes aimed at either providing environments. The end product is the input to processes aimed at either providing environments to which people respond in a preferred way, or changing the stimuli, Right on, next. Behavioral geography has maintained strong ties. Behavioral geography has maintained the strong ties with the positivists. क्योंकि पॉजिटिविस्ट में भी क्या हो रहा है, हम डेटा कलेक्ट करते हैं. व्हाई दे आर हैविंग द सेम टाइज विद द पॉजिटिविज्म? बिकॉज पॉजिटिविज्म का भी सेम पॉइंट क्या था? डेटा कलेक्शन, फील्ड सर्वे, ऑब्जर्वेशंस, राइट? तो क्या दे आर टेकिंग वन ऑफ द एलिमेंट ऑफ द पॉजिटिविज्म? यस, बिकॉज यहाँ पे भी डेटा कलेक्शन कर रहे हैं. किसका डेटा कलेक्शन कर रहे हैं? ह्यूमंस का, राइट? क्योंकि उनका सबका एक्सपीरियंस डिफरेंट होगा. राइट डाउन. बिहेवियरल ज्योग्राफी हैज मेंटेन्ड द स्ट्रॉन्ग टाइज विद द पॉजिटिविस्ट / special science tradition. Data are collected from individuals. Comma, but they are all concerned with conscious elements in action. Okay? With conscious elements in action, because हम conscious हैं, हम क्या experience करेंगे, क्या reply करेंगे, that is a conscious feedback. Conscious elements in action. Write down Kates, Kates, Kates. In 1962, write down Kates in 1962 was a major exponent of behavioristic approach. Kates was a major exponent of a behavioristic approach. Okay. Kates was a major exponent of. Hello, I'm in the classroom. Right. So behavioristic approach. क्या है behavioristic approach? What is a behavioristic approach? We are taking the information from the people itself. कि आपका क्या व्यू पॉइंट है, आपका क्या व्यू पॉइंट है. So are we not collecting the data? Yes. Positivism में भी क्या था, हम डेटा ही कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं, पर यहाँ पे क्या है, conscious, whatever conscious elements are coming in. So again I'll repeat, behavior approach has maintained a strong ties with the positivist spatial science tradition. Data are collected from individuals, but they are almost all concerned with conscious elements in action. They are usually aggregated in order to allow. Don't write all that. Okay. So next is Cates. Cates is what? Scholar, and he was a major exponent of behavioristic approach. ठीक है, Cates क्या है? Major exponent है किसका? Of the behavioristic approach. He is a scholar. He is an exponent of behavioristic approach. ठीक है? Write down. Okay. So what he has developed a model where he has a 4 assumptions. Write down 4 assumption of Cates. 4 assumption of Cates. The first one is, write down, men are rational while taking decisions. Men are rational while taking decisions. Second point, he said, men make choices. Men make choices. Third, he said, men choices are made on the basis of knowledge. Third, he said, men choices are based on the basis of the knowledge. Next, information is evaluated. Information is evaluated on the predetermined criteria. On the predetermined criteria. Right? So these are the 4 points which have been said. क्या क्या बोला उन्होंने? The first point they said is men are rational while taking. You don't have to write anything under that. इतना explain नहीं करना है बहुत ज़्यादा. So I will explain you each point. Men are rational while taking decision. मतलब जब भी men कोई भी decision लेंगे वो कैसे लेंगे? With logic, rational. Such a decision may either be prescriptive, deciding how men should behave, or descriptive of actual behavior. हो सकता है this is how men should behave. अगर आप किसी मीटिंग में जा रहे हैं तो क्या आप वहां पे you have to follow the codes of the meeting, right? There are some protocols that you have to follow. So when you are going there, obviously आप logically decision लेंगे, चाहे आपको कितना ही गुस्सा आ रहा हो किसी भी बात पे, right? तभी आप क्या करेंगे, which ought to be done there. ठीक है, अगर आप किसी इंटरनेशनल मीटिंग में जा रहे हैं, फोरम में, वहां पे आप बैठे हैं, you have to maintain some kind of decency over there. ठीक है, so men are rational while taking decision. Such a decision may either be prescriptive, describing how men should behave, or descriptive of actual behavior. Next is men make choices. Many decisions are either trivial or are habitual, so that they are accorded later and thought immediately before they are made. मतलब you make choices, but you also think a bit upon that, right? आप क्या करेंगे, men make choices, but you will also think that whether I should have been, for example, if you get something, you always have at the back of your mind, can I get better? Always, हमेशा ऐसा होता है, किसी के साथ होता है. So they are trivial. Trivial means what? Literal. What do you mean by literal meaning of trivial? No. What is the literal meaning of trivial? बताइए. Okay. Next देखेंगे, choices are made on the basis of knowledge. For example, if you have a certain knowledge about some facts, पहले से ही आप उस इंडस्ट्री में काम कर चुके हैं, तो आपका जो डिसीजन मेकिंग होगा वो डिफरेंट होगा देन द पर्सन हु हैज नो नॉलेज, नो बैकग्राउंड ऑफ दैट एरिया. For example, you're 1 year old or how many years old in UPSC. The way you are taking the exam, and for example, the person who is seeing and entering the journey for the first time, वो जैसे देखेंगे इस एग्जाम को, आप में और उनमें बहुत डिफरेंस है. So on the predetermined, on the knowledge that you are already carrying, उस basis पे आप decision बनाएंगे. So third is choices are made on the basis of knowledge. Fourth is information is evaluated to predetermined criteria. ठीक है, मतलब इंफॉर्मेशन कैसे इवेल्युएट होती है, जो आपको प्री डिटरमाइंड क्राइटेरिया पता है, जो पहले से ही पता है आपको, मतलब जो आपकी रेसिडुअल नॉलेज है. ठीक है, अब बताइए. वेरी लिटिल इंपॉर्टेंस. ओके. सो these are the points. Now write down the last para. लिखिए. The aim in the behavioral geography has been, the aim in the behavioral geography has been to derive alternative theories to those based on economic men. Explain this. This is your question that you have to do right now. You can use Google, but then you have to write the proper answer on this. I'm giving you 5 minutes to write the answer. Behavior based on economic men. Discuss. Discuss. This is the question that you have to do right now. And I will also give you the keywords on this, but before that, you have to do. ऐसे ही question उठ के आते हैं, then you have to discuss. ये सब आपका लिख के आ जाता है बाद में. Simple questions are coming. I'm again repeating. Aim in behavioral geography has been to derive alternative theories. The aim in behavioral geography has been to derive alternative theories to those based on economic men. करिए. I'm giving you 5 to 7 minutes to write an answer on this. सिंपल ये भी लिख के आ सकता है आपका. बिहेवियरल ज्योग्राफी इस तरह से भी लिख के आ सकता है. These are the key points. Behavioral geography, hyphen, sorry, put a colon, and then it can come like that. An alternative to the economic man concept. Explain. An alternative to an economic man concept. Okay, एक assignment question और लिखेंगे, but that is for your there's a homework, right? What is radical geography? And I'll also discuss this question tomorrow. What is radical geography? This is your assignment. You have to do this. Radical geography and welfare geography both. I'll discuss both of them tomorrow. What is radical geography? What is welfare ecology? कल आप आ रहे हो ना? कब है आप? फिर कब आओगे? वेंसडे. वेंसडे आओगे ना? वेंसडे दिन पे. बिकॉज आपने अभी तो दिया था, आई गेस फ्राइडे आई वाज बिजी. सैटरडे आई वाज बिजी. वेलफेयर ज्योग्राफी है एंड ह्यूमन इकोलॉजी, ये अलग अलग टर्म्स हैं, इनको कंफ्यूज मत करना. या फिर एक काम करिए, आप सिर्फ वेलफेयर ज्योग्राफी के बारे में लिखिए पहले. सिर्फ दो ही करिए. टुमारो आई विल गिव यू मोर क्वेश्चंस. और ये आप छोड़ जाते हैं, यू डू नॉट डू दिस. इफ इट कम्स इन 5 marks then it becomes important. Just let me know when we are done. I'm giving 2 more minutes because I have to dictate it then also. Okay, done then. Shall we start? है ठीक है ओके राइट डाउन देखिए the aim of geographical the aim of behavioral geographical has been derived the aim of behavioral geography has been derived as an alternative to as an alternative to those approaches as an alternative to those approaches based on based on the concept of economic men. First point, behavioral geography emerged as an alternative to behavioral geography has emerged as an alternative to traditional geographical models. This emerged as an alternative to traditional geographical models. Emerged as alternative to traditional geographical models that assume men as that assume people behave like economic men. इकोनॉमिक मैन का क्या मतलब है यहाँ पे? इकोनॉमिक मैन इज नो हाँ इरेशनल ऑल्सो. इकोनॉमिक मैन का मतलब है द पर्सन हु इज ऑलवेज थिंकिंग ऑफ हिज बेनिफिट. ऑलवेज ही इज ऑलवेज थिंकिंग टू मैक्सिमाइज हिज प्रॉफिट्स. ठीक है, तो राइट डाउन पीपल अज्यूम always make perfectly rational decision to maximize benefits and minimize costs. Again repeating, individuals who always make perfectly rational decisions. Economic man लिखा, ठीक है, economic man के आगे hyphen लिखेंगे. That is individuals who always make perfectly rational decisions to maximize benefits and minimize cost. Next point, behavioral geography instead recognizes that human decisions are influenced by behavioral geography recognizes that human decisions are influenced by limited informations, perceptions, attitudes, limited information, perception, एटीट्यूड. क्या परसेप्शन है आपको किसी चीज को लेके, क्या एटीट्यूड है आपका, क्या लिमिटेड इंफॉर्मेशन है आपके पास, ठीक है, लिमिटेड इंफॉर्मेशन कॉमा एटीट्यूड कॉमा वैल्यूज एंड कॉग्निटिव बाइस। Write down. Behavioral geography was developed in 1960s, 1970s. Behavioral geography was developed in 1970s. Full stop. And earlier theories was based on the idea of, and the earlier theories were based on the idea of economic men, first point, who has complete knowledge, of all the available options. Next point, who make always a logical decision. Next point, seek to maximize profits, comma, utility and satisfaction. Next point, acts consistently and rationally, act consistently and rationally in every situation. But behavioral geography contradicted that. Behavioral geography contradicted that real people do not behave this way. It contradicted that real people, जो असली लोग हैं वो ऐसे बिहेव नहीं करते। क्या आप हमेशा सही चॉइसेस लेते हैं लाइफ में? नॉट पॉसिबल। क्या आपके पास हमेशा सही इंफॉर्मेशन होता है हर चीज का? नॉट पॉसिबल। ठीक है, सो नाउ राइट डाउन की आइडियाज, राइट डाउन की आइडियाज। परसेप्शन ऑफ एनवायरमेंट, फर्स्ट पॉइंट आएगा इसके अंदर परसेप्शन। आप कैसे एनवायरमेंट को परसीव करते हैं उस बेसिस पे आप डिसीजन लेते हैं। फर्स्ट इज परसेप्शन ऑफ एनवायरमेंट एंड राइट डाउन अंडर इट, people do not react to environment, exactly as it exists. People do not react to environment exactly as it exists, comma, they react to it how they perceive it. They react to it how they perceive it. Next point, bounded rationality. Next point, bounded rationality. It was introduced by Herbert A. Simon. This concept was introduced by Herbert A. Simon. It says people have limited information. लोगों के पास क्या होता है? बहुत कम इंफॉर्मेशन होती है। Write down. Behavioral geography emerged because people make mistakes, comma, they have incomplete information. अगर आपको पता भी है ना आपका क्या फायदा है इस चीज में, तब भी आप अगर मैक्सिमाइज ही करना होता तो तभी एथिक्स की बात करते हैं। वी टॉक अबाउट एथिक्स इन यूपीएससी। अगर मैक्सिमाइज ही करना होता प्रॉफिट, तो हमें तो प्रॉफिट दिख रहा है सीधा सीधा इन डूइंग द करप्शन। then why we are going with the ethics? Because there is something else apart from just maximizing the profit, which is values. ठीक है, अगर रैशनली सिर्फ लॉजिकली जाए to maximize the profit, we know what to do, but values are coming in between. That's why we take the middle path, or maybe we try to avoid it. ठीक है, make mistakes, comma, have incomplete information, comma, they are influenced by culture and emotions, and they differ from one another, in perception and preferences. in perception and preferences. अब इकोनॉमिक मैन क्या कहेगा कि हमेशा जो भी आपका पर्सन होगा वो हमेशा क्या चूज करेगा, चीपेस्ट प्रोडक्ट, बट दैट इज नॉट द केस. सो देयर आर सम पीपल हु माइट टेक द products which are long lasting, the products which have a good value, good quality. ठीक है, so consumers always choose the cheapest and most efficient option. Economic man ये कहेगा, behavioral man ये कहेगा that they may choose a familiar store, a safer site, a more valued product. ठीक है, or maybe it could be recommended by any of them, I mean their peers. Then they, economic man क्या कहेगा, they assumes perfect information, but in reality human make decision on the basis of limited. अभी आप यूपीएससी की जर्नी में आए हैं, do you have all the information regarding this? No, you are also figuring out your way, you are navigating your path. अपना सबका अलग पाथ है और अपनी तरीके से सब नेविगेट करते हैं. ठीक है, next is decision is fully rational. Is it possible to make rational decision all the time? Not at all. So decision is influenced by social factors in the behavioral geography. ठीक है, तो इसी पॉइंट को लिखिए, राइट डाउन. इन बिहेवियरल ज्योग्राफी अप्रोच the decisions are influenced by culture, by limited information, personal perceptions, psychological and social factors. Psychological and social factors. तो बिहेवियर कैसा अप्रोच ले रहा है? दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द एक्चुअल ह्यूमन बिहेवियर रादर देन द रैशनल ह्यूमन बिहेवियर. रैशनल में तो हमें सबको पता है हमें क्या करना है, बट देन वी आर बाउंडेड बाय द इमोशंस आल्सो. ठीक है, इट स्टडीज हाउ परसेप्शन, एटीट्यूड, नॉलेज, वैल्यू, डिसीजन मेकिंग प्रोसेसेस शेप पीपल्स इंटरेक्शन विद स्पेस एंड प्लेस. ओके, नाउ यू विल राइट द कंक्लूजन ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन. मतलब इसका आंसर के कंक्लूजन लिखिए, फिनिश इट ऑफ एंड देन आल्सो डू ऑल दीज क्वेश्चंस. अच्छा, conclusion should not be similar as to what we have done, we have written in the body. Please make sure that. Please write down the conclusion fast. And online students who have not done the test, I have already uploaded the test, this time's test also, and previous week test also. Please do have a look at it, do that test and submit it to me. Okay, okay, we'll complete the conclusion. I'll hear it from you. What conclusion you have written? Everyone, you've written the conclusion? I'm hoping that you've done your conclusion, right? Okay. All right, and also do these assignment questions. Please उनको lightly मत लेना. अगर आप PYQ देखेंगे तो आपको सारे इस टाइप के questions दिखेंगे. Okay, and also do attempt the test. You'll be coming tomorrow. Then day after tomorrow, you collect your test from that. Thank you so much.